Hello everyone, we're out on the range today with Mr. New York Prepper, and look what he has brought. He has brought this Ruger M77 chambered in 416 Ruger, and if you watched the last video, he shot this ballistics gel the lengthways as it's intended to be shot, and it was a complete pass-through. So I thought I would just set it up like that for kicks and giggles, aim for dead center, and see what happens to a ballistics gel block with this 416 Ruger. Now, if you don't care, a lot of people is probably familiar with the 416 Rigby. Will you explain the difference between the 416 Ruger that this is chambered in and
Sure.
the 416 Rigby that most people are probably accustomed to?
Yeah. So the 416 Rigby is a magnum length cartridge. It's 3.8 inches overall length. So what Ruger and Hornady did was they got together and they wanted to make a safari round that they could fit in the Ruger M77 Hawkeye Actions, which are made for 30.06 length. So they basically came up with the 375 Ruger and the 416 Ruger. They're basically brother and sister. The 416 Ruger has a little bit more capacity and power than the 375 Ruger, but it's basically just a 416 Rigby squeezed down into a standard length cartridge. So you know, you can generate up to like 5,500 foot-pounds of muzzle energy. So it's like between a 458 Win Mag and a 458 Lot, like kind of in between those two in terms of power. So it's a lot of power, and it's a 416 caliber. So it's just a hair over 40 caliber, and it's got amazing penetration. The 416s are known to be amazing penetrators. So it's got a lot of penetration. It's, you know, made for the African Big Five, but you could use it on brown bear in Alaska. This is the guide gun model. So it's got a 20-inch barrel, so it's nice and compact. It's easy to carry. A lot of safari rifles, they're like 24, 26 inches long, the barrel, and it's a little uncomfortable, but this feels kind of like a home defense shotgun. It's very comfortable. So
Yeah, great gun, great setup. Appreciate him. He come a long way and brought this gun. He's going to let us shoot it in ballistics gel, so we really appreciate him, and appreciate you guys watching. If you would you like, share, and subscribe? I'm going to leave his channel and the link in the description below. Make sure you'll do yourself a favor. Make sure you go check him out. Great guy, great channel, a lot of gun stuff, a lot of prepping stuff, a lot of stuff you need to know. So my buddy New York Prepper is a great guy. Please like and share and subscribe to both of us, and we will get to some shooting, and let's see if I can knock that guy down with this big gun. This is what's amazing. This big gun with this big bore rifle with all that power leaves this little tiny entrance wound. But that's where your velocity, your terminal velocity, hydrostatic shock, all that comes into play, because you think, well, that looks like a 22 round. You got a temporal cavity and a permanent cavity, and that is just the entrance wound. But as you can see, look at the devastation of this round. It is unbelievable. And this is the exit wound. Now you can tell this is a lot bigger. This is, we probably did get some expansion, or it could just be the velocity. But I don't know if you can see this, but here's the entrance wound. And then look how it angles up. It angled up and come out here. And that's what happens to your tables. That's why we go through tables a lot, is you can have a good shot placement right in the center, but if you're shooting it long ways and it angles like this, it can angle down and actually hurt your table and cause some damage. So you always want to be careful what you're using, as far as your table, because, we've had a few casualties and things happen, but that's what we're here for. But I really appreciate New York Prepper bringing this. I don't know if you can see how it angles up here. We had some other rounds going in this that way, but I did shoot it this way. But you can see the entrance right here comes up and out this way. Very interesting round. Very interesting results. A lot of power. You can basically hunt anything in the world with confidence with that round, and I can't tell New York Prepper how much I appreciate him bringing that up, letting me shoot it. Had so much fun. What do you got to say about that 416 Ruger?
I think, like, this particular round, this was a triple shock X, so it's a solid copper expanding bullet. And what's great about it is if you're hunting something like bear, a lot of guys that hunt bear, what'll happen is they'll hit the vitals, but the bears have so much fat that if you don't get a pass through all the way through the bear, with an exit hole. There's not much blood, so it's hard to track the bear. So if you're hunting like a larger game animal, something like this Triple Shock X bullet is great because it penetrates very deep, and although it doesn't expand as violently as like a jacketed bullet, it'll expand enough to make a good wound channel, but it passes all the way through like a bear or an elk or whatever. I mean, this round is made for, you know, even African game, so you get that exit hole, and that's critical for large game, so you get a good blood trail so you don't lose your recovery, you know, when you're trying to find the animal.
And the permanent cavity and the temporal cavity, when it hits this gel, it expands violently. That round is moving extremely fast. So as he was talking about, even though it passes through the bear, it's leaving a trail of hydrostatic shock the entire way. It will lose energy going through anything, as any bullet would, but it's not going to lose very much energy at all from front to end of that bear. That's what these rounds are designed for. Fantastic round, fantastic setup. If I was going into bear country, I would happily take this rifle and feel very confident with its ability for anything from polar bear to grizzly to elephant.
Yep, it's even made for, yeah, the big 5. You can hunt anything with this rifle. So yeah, it's a great big game rifle, that's for sure.
Thank you so much for watching. Appreciate you. Very special thanks again to NYPrepper and all of his efforts to make this happen. May God bless you. Wish you and yours the very best. The Kentucky Patriot signing off.